Hello. How we doing? Hey, perfect timing, yes. I'm actually on time for a change. I actually started at 8 o'clock. Normally I start like 8:30 to 9. Play Oblivion. Yeah, where is it? There it is. DLC in box form. There you go. Did it and I was like, oh yeah, still got this lying around somewhere. Oh, actually, also, $40 in-game price. The DLC box. Um, it's got a whole bunch of them. It's like got like all of them. Like it's got the horse armor as well as the Knights of the Nine, which was the big one. But it's got all the others. Run Overcooked had a lot of games going on. Nice. She has wares if you have coin. My best character was a Khajiit in that game. The one that went the furthest before the leveling scaling weirdness kicked in. I never hit the item ID bug though, strangely enough. Anyway, we're in Factorio today. As you do, as we have been lately. Put that over there for now. Oh, better yet, spleens can sit on it. And then there. And you can just spleens can just keep a closer watch on you now from the corner there. Good on these for expansion DLCs on discs. Full game price, 50% of the game. Yeah. Yeah, the leveling system was kind of broken. It worked for a start, but it was fine for early game, but end game, it had problems. Ooh, lurking up, very good. There's another classic. I don't know why I have these things sitting here. I should put them away at some point. I mean, there's also that one. Should get this one out at some point. It's kind of difficult to. Say difficult. It is and it isn't difficult. Because it's DirectX 5, I think, KKND, so it actually works reasonably well, but it's the resolutions that's a problem. And the way the menus work, because games in that era tended to use fixed resolution menus, so that the game menu would be like 320 by 200 or 640 by 480 or something. Modern modern displays don't like it when you do that. Dracos love getting to. Oh my god, do they ever? Those stupid Dracos. Land Down Under, or Land of Lord of the Rings? Um, Down Under. As you can tell by me turning off the hemispheric compensation and turning it back on again, because people will complain. Gonna build this. Okay, rebuild. And he's stuck. There's one thing that's missing from games these days is not as much thought as put into both player and enemy or NPC falling over furniture in the game world. They're just so clogged with garbage now. All the game maps in every game now. Games like I realise in saying this that they were done for performance reasons, but a lot of games, your Dooms, your Quakes, your Unreal Tournaments, and Unreals, tended not to be clogged with garbage because there was a philosophy that you don't want the player tripping over things constantly. It's sort of forgotten now. Even Half-Life to an extent. Although Half-Life admittedly Half-Life, it was generally garbage was used as a way of stopping the player. Now, I want to actually do stuff. I want to get over to science. Pips refuse to plant seeds. You won't always grab the wrong one. Yeah. They do that on purpose. Like, you really have to try to get pips to plant what you want them to plant. What is this game about? This game is all about automation. So this game, it's a factory building game. The idea of it is, it's the ultimate... I can't words this early in the morning. It's only just past 8 o'clock. It's all about building stuff to make more stuff, to which you can then build bigger stuff to make even more stuff. And so it infinitely goes. So it's kind of like a very fancy version of those clicker sort of number go up games in a way. So the purpose of this is I'm going to take these numbers to absolutely stupid levels. So this game, you start with nothing. You start with nothing. It's inspired by Minecraft. You start with nothing. You do everything by hand, and then you start automating it, and then you automate more, and then you do science to unlock more technologies, and that's the core mechanic of the game. And the plan for me is that what I'm building up to talking about is that we're going to take this up to 11, 12, and then 13, and then even further all the way up to 36,000. So normally, like this wall here, it requires, it says these two science packs buy 100, so you need 100 of each of these science packs. And this little clock here means it's going to take 30 seconds to consume each one of those science packs. That gives you an idea of how science progresses. If you have one lab, then it would take 100 by 30 seconds. If you have two labs, it would divide by in two, so it'll be half the time. 4 labs, again, exponentially increasing it. First time I heard it connect to an auto clicker. I only thought of that recently, because I've been poking Adventure Communist lately, which is literally just a number go up game, and that's really all it is. Because at the end of the day, we're just staring at this production screen here, and we're just trying to make it go as big as possible. So it's a number go up game. Actually quite proud of that one. But yeah, see, I'm just sort of setting the scene. So the more labs we have, the more science packs we have, the faster things go. And the objective of this base is to consume 36,000 of those science packs per minute on this screen. Which means most of these researchers will disappear, like this entire screen. All of these available researchers probably disappear in the space of 30 seconds. Probably 30 seconds to a minute, I want to say. It's going to go quick. Going to go real quick. Like this thing, as soon as you start it, it'll just be done. Like, there'll be more time spent for the inserters. I'm doing the super never seen it before description as well, just in case. So there'll be more time spent waiting for this thing to insert into the lab than it is the lab actually doing any work. This thing here is called a lab. It glows. It's fun. The things surrounding it are called beacons, and they speed boost it. And the things here, which you can turn off with an overlay, productivity modules, meaning that it gives 1.4 times. It's got 4. Each one gives 10% extra productivity, and so this thing gets 40% extra for every pack. Next, even more stupid. Probably not going to research this time. Gamecraft. No, actually. One of the last pieces of puzzle is the military science packs, the black science packs. Where's my button? There it is. We need to make these yet, and we need to make these. And that's what we're working on today. So we need to make electric furnaces and productivity modules, and also we need to make grenades and wall. Piercing rounds is actually already done. I probably should clarify. So over here, where the science packs are actually made, sorry it's dark so you can't see, rail track is made here directly. kind of reminds it in some way very different. If you've ever played, tell you what, if you ever played Minecraft Industrial Craft 2 Buildcraft type mod pack, BC2 IC2, BC IC2, I think it used to be called, that will be very familiar because it's basically directly inspired from that. Here's the military packs. Yeah, there's the ammo already getting done. Kind of funny. It's funny you say that because we're kind of in a time where it's perfectly reasonable to come across people who have never done the BCIC2 run because that, like, you would never come across someone who hadn't at least tried that 5 years ago. Now that Minecraft has been around for so long, may not necessarily have. Also, coffee good. So, to save me a lot of time and hassle, I went to the trouble of pre-preparing these earlier. That way you don't need to. I need to bore you with the numbers. But basically, this makes the grenades at a totally alarming rate. This makes the furnaces at a totally alarming rate. Which can get rid of these, which also makes grenades at a astonishing rate, but not enough of a rate to, like, it's not fast enough. Okay. There's something about the strategy games for me that does it, even though I'm not very good at it. You'd think I'd be all over Civ, but not really. Admittedly, I prefer the older Civs rather than the modern ones. There's just so much junk in the modern ones. I suppose there's also, to an extent, thinking about all the old Civs, all of the every civilization game has some kind of it has some core mechanic which is very relevant for the time it was created in. It's like Civ 2 was very, very biased towards democracies and republics. It also had a huge had this not huge, but it was a significant annoying mechanic around pollution. It's actually kind of funny. Civ 2, communism was like, it was a full military government, but it was also just generally really bad. It would cause massive amounts of pollution around your cities, which would kind of cripple your cities. It's like communism bad, republican democracy good. When it boils, what it boils down to. Age of Empires and mythology, you like? I actually was never huge into the fantasy until I got onto Oblivion. Oblivion? I think it was Oblivion, the first one. Anyway, let's grab this thing. The big deal with this is I need a bunch of them. The bot's trying to insert stuff in me, and they're failing miserably. I want to be about here. The thing with this thing is I'm going to need 16 of them. So that's 4, then 8, 12, and then finally 16. Whee! Alpha Centauri. Isn't that the expansion for Civ 2? Or is that the first one? I can't remember now. Or is it part of the first one? Because I might be remembering it right. Hang on. So, Civ 2, from what I remember of it, you could either start on Earth or you could start on Alpha Centauri and build up on Alpha Centauri as an alien and colonize and expand on there. I want to say the end of the game was to get to Alpha Centauri. That's where I get all confused. A standalone. Wasn't there, I seem to remember... Let's have a look. Hang on, I'll get this thing going first. And then I'll go have a look. Because I seem to remember there was like an Alien World thing that came with my copy of Civ 2. Because mine came with... it was the Civ 2 Test of Time, which came with all the expansions and everything. It came as a free demo, on a free demo, one of those demo discs, full game, which was kind of unusual at the time. Oh, coming out of the fire there. 12:30, head off. Alrighty. Better get to bed then. Alright, let's have a look. Alpha Century. Civ game. When did you come out? 2099. No, this is different to what I was thinking of. I'll give it a look though. It's almost like this is where, you know what, this is where what's it called? The one for Civ, the expansion for Civ 4, I think it is. The off-world one. Beyond Earth. Civ 2. I don't see what it was. I just remember there was like an off-world thing in Civ 2. It was like a reskin. Same game, just different graphics. Confusing as hell to play. Never really got into that one. Admittedly, I'd perfected the whole research sequence and everything, and I didn't really want to change. Why break a winning formula? Alright, apparently you need power. Apparently. So we shall provide the power. Ah, yeah. I legitimately don't even remember Alpha Centauri. Kinda gets that way. Yeah, about there, we'll say. Or there. Either is fine. Yep. Oh, it's got its power. Unfortunately, you can't make it evenly split because it's like an odd number and an even number. An alien mucus. It's like the whole thing embracing the goo in Beyond Earth. So grenades come out there, as they do. Will I separate these into two halves again? I was sort of leaning on separating them out, but I might not do that in the end. I'd sort of preset this up so that there were two separate trains. But I might combine them. It's just a bit of a pain in the butt. You know what, I'm going to keep them separate, because I've already gone to the trouble of separating them. Where's a load-o-majig? There's a load-o-majig that I can copy. Up there. That I can't really rotate. Alright. How about I copy you instead? Ooh, let me rotate. Yes. And a boop. Admittedly, this probably doesn't even need to be here. Probably be further up. Build up these blocks anyway, and then, if need be, I can rotate them and organize them a little bit nicer. I think that seems reasonable. Alright, next step is to find the center, because we've got to make this look all nice and purdy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oop. I should also point out I've been working on this little Factorio project for like 6 months now. This is a huge, like, what I'm trying to do in this game is a huge undertaking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. So this actually needs to be more like, well, ideally like there. Ah, crap. I took up the entire station. Oops. I better put that back then. There we go. We'll pretend it was meant to be like that. Dear. It's lucky I didn't take up the chests. That would have been embarrassing. Oh dear. It's fine. It's fine. We can take the time to line this up. Like so. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. Not likely. The mini loaders being are a modded item and a little bit temperamental in the way that they work. Get in the way of pasting. Oh, there we go. It pasted the blueprint. All is right with the world again. I can't believe I didn't even notice that I cut those instead of copied. Okay, these chests don't have a rotation. What's the horizontal ones? What I want? Do I even have a horizontal one? Yes, I do. Pretty much everything that happens in this map is just absurd. I feel like maybe I should slide it over a little bit. Oh, there it goes. I was like, why isn't that doing anything? Just took forever. Yeah, all the previous VODs of this playthrough can be found there. Move it back one. I don't think there's enough room. So if you want to see how we progressed from the very beginning, you can find out on the YouTubes. YouTubes. Get out of the way for me. I mean, it's going to be permanently out of the way, but I'll say for now, even though... Oh, I'm out of thingies. I see how it is. Ah, they're back again. There we go. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of building to get all this done. Maybe I could have actually done it in that space. Yeah. Yeet. You don't have chests. You have chests. I should check into investigate that. I'll try and have refueling for the trains everywhere that I can possibly put it, just in case. Right, you go back in there. Yeah, I think I'll just organize this into its own little sort of sub-district, I guess. The original design idea behind this build was that there's a large amount of overlap between the two science packs I need to do, military and production, black and purple. There's a lot of overlap, so you can technically sort of intertwine the intermediates, and it'll take from either or, but never both, unless you do both. One of the researchers that does all 7 packs. There's only one that does that. Infinite one, that is, I should say. And yeah, you can actually intertwine them, and they won't consume each other's, like they won't interfere with each other. It's like one uses more steel and the other uses more, well, one uses like a slightly more steel and the other uses like slightly more iron or something. Okay. That's one. That's Granados. Every time with the E. Every time. I swear. Next step is furnaces. Which does lead to an interesting problem. What am I going to do with stone? Which again leads into the whole intermixing thing. I think that's right. I had the smelting stone on hand instead of having a thingy to do the thingy. So we're going to need to grab one of them. That can then well, you can be green. Probably all be green, actually. There's a lot of lines of stone, though. Hey, take a beer. How you doing? Was that? There's 2 lines of stone right there. 2 and 2, 2 and 2. I want to bring it from straight out of a smelter, so it's like 1, 2. Let's do the old switcheroo melting. Come over here. Yeah, those can quite clearly be run. I have a smelter on hand. They can be run at quite slow speeds, these things can. Activity. There. Clear out all that. So yeah, now we're in the creative world. I'm just going to do some experimentation. So what I want to know is how many of these furnaces I need. That's not going to cut it, is it? Now, isn't it? There. And there it runs out. Is it counting? No, that is actually. Let me flip that. Okay, that was all just from one. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So that makes 672 per minute. Didn't check the thermostat in May. There it was, too cold, and they had the missing heat into June. crank it up. Alright, let's swap out for that. What's the consumption? Consumption is 3.2k. So I was making 672. Uh, 672. So that's 5.6 furnaces. Okay. So 5 of these feed one of those. 3, 4, 5. Well, it's actually 5.6 of these. That pesky sky fireball getting you again. You're meant to go in, not out. There. Bloop and bloop. There we go. Some of ye oldie inserters. There. I mean, I could just look at the Factorio Lab stuff as well, mind you. Yeah. That's also mildly inconvenient. Yeah, it eats the whole lane. By the looks of that. Oh, you don't have AC, don't you? You have cold air. It's actually kind of surprising because I thought the continental Europe did actually get warm enough to justify it. Still struggling with the pips, eh? Pesky pips. I actually can't eject fast enough by the looks of that. Well, sort of. I mean, I am adding more to this thingy. Hey, Memory, how you doing? Plant exactly 0 seeds. There is that limitation, don't forget. The limitation on what is it? It's like gap of 2, gap of 3 sort of thing. 1, 2. Switcheroo. That's not the switcheroo I wanted. I have 2 weeks off work. And a few hot days in a row with plenty of colder days in between. There we go. Our heat waves are hotter and longer. Now you just get just constant heat waves. .9, 3.2. I mean, it's gaining. But Ethan.
Good morning, good sir.
Good morning. An AK. Thank you very much for that. Team 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Show some love and hype in chat there for Ethan for the 19 months. What was that? Add in insert a loader on Read to output to both lanes. I was actually going to looking at adding another one. Yeah, because it's actually 5.6, so it actually needs another one of these, like that. So it all sort of balances out. Trouble is, I don't think there's enough stone going in. Netherlands has like 6-month wait time. Wow. Yeah. I was kind of expecting the stone to run out, but I was kind of also hoping that I could get away with not dealing with the problem. That wasn't to be. There we go. That should keep it steady. Yeah, all the standards, because you're in quite a dense, potentially a densely populated area. It's funny, like how comparatively terrible they are here. So yeah, that feeds that. Um, what are we looking at? We're looking at direct stone to furnace smelting right now. So that's smelt. So what we've done right there is we're cooking up stone for furnaces. For just one row of furnaces, mind you. So we're trying to work out what to do, how to set this up for the base. Technically, I should actually, if I was to be consistent, it would actually be furnaceception, very much so. Technically, I should be smelting this on the stone patch. Technically. But I'm sort of not doing that at this time. I like the idea of smelting it at this point. Problem is getting all these belts in though. So you got what, 2 stone? Well, technically it'll be 4 stone, and then 2 steel, 2 circuits. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Miner to furnace, directed to loader to belt. Thing is, you don't really use. Well, you actually sort of do use stone. Raw stone for use raw stone for like track. I need like a stone staging area. That's what I need. Can I feed it up the middle though? That is the question. It's gonna be a long boy, this is. Challenging part is I wanted the wall to be a spillover of this as well. Suppose I could do. Just add a second output. I think I'll expand this out again to look like that. So that's how I originally had it, and then I changed it. There. It's just two, yeah, just two. Alright, let's delete that. Delete that. Move that. Move this. So we like plug, 2, 3, and your wall. Maybe? No, we'll make you wall. There. This is my random thinkings. There. Oh yeah, I need to, alright, need to pick the whole thing up as well. Give it some more room. So... it gets its full kajiga. Right there. It's quite a hefty build. It's also kind of tidy at the same time. Um... It could be super terrible. And do that. It's kind of cheating in a way, doing it that way. I mean, it helps to have the thingy you do the insert imaging. You can see it's really struggling for speed though. And you can output that way, and then you can output there. Like so, on that one lane. Oh, it's backwards. Like that. These guys. So it's 2 4 stones. Let's arrange all these next. 2 4 stones. We're not sending those down, we are sending these down. These can be slower. Somehow. So they can be on green. Yeah. I'm trying to clear this space next, so that means this has got to move. So you're going to have to go there now. God dang it. Get rid of that trash. Then I need to get... What, you... Come over that side. I'll just get this out the way. Like that. So you get this one in now. Probably like that. Where's the other one? There. Same dealio here. Just give it some more room for the green belts. I need to figure out how to make that more compact. It's always a brain struggle getting these organized. Wings! Squawks coming out of follow there. You actually going? Yeah, it's draining now. it rain? Yeah, it's raining too. Technically, it's overkill for what's needed. This many furnaces. I mean, it's 5.6, so you could ratio it out, but it's easier just to overbuild slightly and deal with it that way. I mean, it could just stay like, yeah, it's just stay like that, I guess. That actually works well for me. That does. Let's just pack these down to make it more consistent. We're in intensive thinking time. Uh-oh. Penguin's here. Head hurt? I mean, it looks about right, doesn't it? One, two. Bam. Bam-a-lam. Plus twist grab an image. Apparently. Just chose just the right time. Let's slide these over here. They've gone blind, apparently. Let's bring you up to there. Uh-oh. Oh, good. It wasn't actually needed for anything. Whee! Now, in theory, steel can be carried by these. And it does actually work, in theory. In theory. There. There it is. There's our stone. Found new feature. A lot of people are going to be annoyed with HBO. Has a streaming service. When you watch on your computer and you tab out of the page and put another window over it, it stops playback. I have a feeling other streaming service will have this soon. Oh, definitely. This thing there. And just threw everything in the bin, sure. YouTube sort of's been toying around with that for a while now. For a long while, actually. Or at least decreasing the quality when you tab out. Or when you don't have it in focus. Especially if you have, I found it more common when you have something else full screen going on. YouTube will just force down to 360, generally. There, cold coffee. It's really minimizing that bandwidth cost. Let's get rid of the coffee. I'm going to sit back here as well. Alright, so we have our stone, we have our sockets. I'm going to need to move that. To like there. I'm gonna unswizzle that way. Will I? As I make clicky sounds with my mouth. Hmm. That'll do. So there. And there. There. I mean, the fun part that still need to figure out is how to get this onto trains. I haven't even worked that out yet. Just usage on servers. I imagine that is ultimately their goal, is to minimize cost on their part. I could believe that in that case. Stone in you. There we go. Yeah, they only just need an alternate way of getting stone in here. Pay for it so the user will stop paying. The real question is, why would anyone want to pay for HBO? Shouldn't encourage those streaming services in the first place. What are you... Oh, steel. I was like, what are you missing? Why aren't you going? It needs steel. Oh dear. Yeah, that's actually gaining. Excellent. It's happy. It's happy. HBO creative. That's generally the only reason that is the case is because HBO pulled all their content from Netflix to run their own service. They'll come back around eventually. I think the only one that was, realistically, the only one that will probably survive is Disney. Assuming Disney doesn't just buy everyone out. It's entirely possible as well. So what are we at? 648, that's about right. And Amazon, I don't know what will happen with Amazon. I don't know how profitable it is. I know Twitch certainly isn't, which is which is a problem in its own right. One, two, three. I mean, there's a lot of room here to make stuff happen. Oh. Might work backwards. Hey, look at media. How are we today? Doing pretty good. Back to buy all extra channels like I did with K. It's basically the same. We're more or less back to pre-cable days in a way. Two, three, four, five, six. And then I assume that my thinking is that providers will eventually they'll eventually be like, oh, this whole streaming thing. It's actually expensive. We don't want to do this. We want to outsource it. And we're back where we were before again, when they outsource it to cable. Dear. Yeah. So let's shut off you for now. It's going to be a little ugly, but I don't mind. In saying that, one, two, three, and now it needs to switch sides. Ingredient shortage, of course. How the hell am I going to get to switch sides? So one, two. First thing I should do is that. Amazon's getting most of the cash for Twitch Fire. Those deals with games, the Prime loot crap. Buy some Amazon stock and get the stockholder report. Twitch is losing. Apparently that's the case. Twitch is very much, or it's losing money. It's not a profitable enterprise, but at the same time, it's like pocket change to them. Stand drops. Pretty much. One, two, three, four. Alright, so you need to switch sides somehow. Alternatively, I could just do that. Or better yet, I could use the middle to power more things through. That would be smart, wouldn't it now? Ever so smart, wouldn't it? Except for... oh, right, that's in the way. Last mention deleted all entries, really, without thinking about it. Oh, good boopings. One, two, three. And then, well, I've got to figure out how to move that. And then move those to there. As three. Right, you need to move. Guess the easiest way to do that. Need to move that. So also becoming a potential lawsuit magnet with the movie and music. Oh yeah, that's also another impending apocalypse. They're really not on good terms with the music industry at the minute. On multiple fronts. And arguably their complaints, I hate to say it, but their complaints are a lot more legitimate this time round. I really hate to say it. What they're complaining about is a legitimate complaint. something that, realistically, it's something that could have been and should have been addressed and dealt with like 5 years ago, and they just didn't. That's really where the problem lies. They're just not been dealing with the problem. How's this thing go? Still ingredient shortage, but it's making 852. Is that enough though? So 852 by 16 is 13652. Just a little bit. Let me check my Factorio lab. Wall is 28. So no, that's only half of what's needed. How can I get more out of this? This is basically... Is it a full lane? It's pretty much a full lane, isn't it? Nearly. Okay, so I need to get a second full lane out of this thing somehow. Amongst this chaos. No splitter is a big deal. A big deal. The problem is, at the end of the day, this needs a splitter. Can I break the no splitter rule that just this build? More build colours. I mean, I could probably cram this onto green as well. At this point, I'm really... That's the thing, though. That's the challenge. I'm really trying to stick to the no splitter thing, but at the same time, I'm really just creating a super roundabout way of ducking out of using a splitter. And I don't know that I'm helping the cause. I don't know, how stupid can I make this thing? Is the real question. That's not a good place for you to go. Where is it? Should come through here. Oh no, it's already over there. Just clean that out and pretend that never happened. Oh dear. Alright. Merge chest as a splitter. Yeah, that was the other option. I was trying to avoid doing that too, but I think... Why didn't I use the merge chest as a splitter? I mean, I'm already using them as balancers. Oh, that's right, I didn't do it right. You actually don't even really need a merge chest. A titanium chest is actually plenty enough. I guess there is a bit of a space issue as well. It's not a good build if you don't utilize it also. I feel like I'm somewhat committed to the... The mirrors, you seem a little... Oh, right, because you're filling that chest. It was filling that, so... It was... Yeah, see, the build's filling up again. Yeah, I feel like in a way... Going all Porky Pig on you. I feel like... I'm committed now to this absurdity. Right, 3. Lastly. They still need to swap sides too. Somehow. So it's a blue Oh dear, that's getting serious. I don't think I've ever had to do three-way belt weaving before. Oh, that collides with that though. Does make it a little bit more elegant, but it does collide with it. Oh, yeah, that's true. I've done it with that. Trouble is, right now I'm starting to get tempted to do the the chest option again. Kind of want to do the chest option again. In fact, I think I just thought of a way. Yeah, before I had it with an inserter there. I need to get like back a tile. Shuffle that down. Yeah, that's how you do it. Shuffle that beacon down and this beacon up, and then you can have it either side potentially, something like that. Something like that. I suppose you could poke it out there, loop it around and in. This afternoon. He didn't want to do it last night. I gotta read the thing again and try and make sense of it. What are we at? Hour. There it is. uh, hmm. And just somehow get it out of the way and then back again. Starting to hate this. Starting to really hate this. Yeah, what? Yeah, what? Merge chests? I think we need to have a chat. How far can those reach? Not that far. Therein lies the other problem. I realised too, I could just space this out a little, like have a little section in between. You know what? Let's get rid of the secondary thing. It's at the end of the day, this is not. It's cool and all, but it's not going to add anything meaningful to the build. Unfortunately, really just lack of any other description. It's kind of dumb. How about we not do that? So, yeah, instead, do that. Okay, you need one more tile. So like that. I'll drop that there. Kind of in the way. 3, 4. Oh, look at you coming on in. Just stealing that heist. Swanning on in and stealing that heist. So yeah, a bit of gappage. That is true. It's not here to use you as a meat shield. One there. There. How many years? 15 minutes, thereabouts. So I don't really want another. There we go. 2 full builds and still ingredient short. 1.8k. So that's 28,000 total. What was the total? And we're aiming for 28,500 and 28,800 this is making. So there's actually enough. Make that 4. Yeah. Need that much. That max reach? 1, 2... No, that's right, yeah. It can't actually reach under the beacon. Like, it can't have all of this and reach under the beacon at the same time. The beacon. Then we'll do that. Drain them both out. So that gets me the 2 opposing intermediates. But they can't actually go together on a train. Ah, it's looking a little slow. No, 648's fine. Okay, so that's our final build right there. Yeah, the grenades, I just got to figure out how to combine that somehow. Or incorporate that with the prod mods. Given the volume of materials, it's probably not possible. I think my head does actually hurt now, though. So yeah, there's grenades. And the grenade a load of majig. Oh, so gotta rotate. Trays come in the bottom, so around, exit from the top. henceforth, we cut this. Like so. Because... Oh, right, the whole merge chest thing. Undo. Or better yet, how about I unmerge them, then copy, then I can rotate. Better yet, cut. Two more components in your base, and of course they had to be cut and paste jobbies. That didn't take the thingy. The best when they're cut and paste jobs, isn't it? Isn't it? Alright, so I don't want to lift it up a little bit, so I'll put it there. I actually placed that over the top of... over the top of the wires. There we go, I actually pasted this time. It's fortunate they didn't Factorio. There are quite a few that are like... There are a few, not all of them, but there's a few of them that are like that, where they're just simple copy-paste. Make life a little bit easier. Oh yeah, just gonna stack the rest behind it. Minerals, eh? How does this compare? It's something like that. And then I still need to do modules. I could actually do modules separate to everything else. But I did want to do... This area here was meant to be... It was meant to be like layers of intermediates, like the first layer of intermediates, second layer of intermediates, and then the science. But it sort of didn't quite pan out that way. Admittedly, I should have the blueprint for the circuit somewhere. Oh, I better do the loads first, because they are quite complicated, these. Or the unloads, I mean, for all the materials coming in. Oh, I actually drained the suit armor. That's actually impressive. I mean, I'm still not getting that drained correctly, but small victories. At least it's draining the armor now. Or, because by default it doesn't. I don't know. I need to check if that's actually been fixed. I don't think Factorio Extended has updated recently. Or at least since I changed it. I deleted the, Did it delete all the... I think it did. Wiped out all of the these kajiggers. by the looks of it. Or a lot of them are missing. Happens with alarming regularity. Admittedly, I'm pretty sure most of it is because of copy and pasting, picking up, putting down. They just sort of get, because of the way they work, they sort of just get deleted. And the pattern of them being deleted is consistent with picking up and putting down and partially deleted and all that. Hey, AK, how you doing? 1 unit of yeetage. 2 wide spacing. 2 units of yeetage. All these trees and rocks and crap. Can't have this thing sitting amongst trees, can we? Does also help that there is no pollution as well. Totally not playing Factorio. Ah, yep. Totally not Factorio Simulator, eh? I think these were all coal and iron. So what's the incoming? I also need a central sort of coal dispatch point. Because currently it's in oil, which is not particularly useful. Granados needs 31.8 belts of coal, 15 belts of iron. 5 of each. 1, 2, 4, 5. Just wondering about doing them in pairs. But it might be a pretty significant... Trouble is... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10? Yeah, 10. Which brings it down to 6. Could drain from 3. Alternatively. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2... That brings it down to 4. It looks something like that. Right like that, eh? Big thunderstorm, guess I'm going to bed then. Have a good one, Tucker Bear. Hopefully the thunderstorm doesn't keep you up all night. It stands under trees now. Okay. Benefit from some of that electric juices. Precious electric juices. It's actually too far away. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which leads on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're actually slightly off. That can be corrected. Can very much be corrected by moving up a few tiles. I mean, that one's off. Oh no, that one was offset because of the way. Yeah, that's right. This one doesn't need to be offset. Yeah, the other one was offset for a reason. Because the belts themselves were offset. Okay. Now you just got to figure out how to divide all this up. Because we've got 10 belts total, which is a fair number of belts, would you believe? Alright, start from the top. 1, 2, 3. How's it look? 5, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Retired, hello. So let's switcheroo that around. 2, 3, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Don't think I need that much nuclear fuel on hand, on tap, or Logibots on tap. There. And a Hugo there. Alright, helps to... helps to have it the right way around. And we do this old game again. I do have to shuffle it over a tile though, which is kind of annoying. Like that. Alright, can you manage that? Not quite. Move it back one. There. Just had this random thinking. Red Letter Media put out a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, talking about Jerry Springer. Something I haven't seen in a very long time. I didn't realize until they mentioned it that Jerry Springer was at one point trying to be legitimate. Never knew that. I always thought it was the same Outland. I mean, admittedly, they rattled off all the episode titles. It's hard. I can see why I thought thought the way that I did, that it was never actually like a real show. But yeah, it was actually trying at one point to have a real variety show, or it degenerated into what it was. Worth a watch, definitely. The Red Letter Media video, that is, not Jerry Springer. That's definitely not worth a watch. When I first saw it, it had only just started getting into the big fight. The big fights had only just started becoming a thing for that show. Um, Imagine watching exactly. uh, such an unthinkable thing, isn't it? These days, just watching TV. Who would do such a thing? It's also amazing that what passed as entertainment back then. Shows like Jerry Springer, people would legitimately watch by the millions. I mean, to be fair, it was always doing shock and awe stuff. That was the thing, like with the episodes. It's like even when he was trying to be serious, it was still all racist, homophobic, and incest stuff. I guess some things don't change in that regard. Hard to believe it was almost a governor. That was the other thing too. He was actually, wasn't he actually a governor? They said he was actually a governor, I think. Or was he? No, he was a. Or was he just a mayor? He was just a mayor, actually. Yeah, then he got done for paying for a prostitute with a check, of all things. Who pays with a check? Even if, even in that would have been 80s. Even in the 80s, paying with a check. Then again, who pays with checks in general? There we go. Checks. Old people in the USA do. Yeah, I mean, the former the latter that you mentioned, old people, for some reason, old people in the US love them. Grocery, like who pays for groceries with checks? You'd never get away with that here. Can't even sign with a credit card here too now. Old people. Uh, as previously stated, old people. The answer to everything. It's like it's not 42. It's old people. Did that actually work? Why are the colours? I feel like something's wrong. I feel like that shouldn't have worked as well as it has. Isn't everyone in the US paranoid about credit cards though? was my understanding of why, why contactless isn't really a thing. You still have the swipe and sign. Which is another thing, as well as you can't sign with a card anymore, you also can't swipe only. People are dumb, therefore checks. Also, what's the other thing? The wire transfers. Thing that all the criminals use. I know there's some savings with fees and things you can do. It's like, it's... Still haven't planted. If they're still not planting, try restarting the game. If they're not doing it, yeah, that's a save and reload. Pips be bugged. Does this thing even deliver the crap that I want? I don't think it does. I should also do the first break at some point soon. Possibly now. Oh yeah, it is delivering. It's just I assume it's doing its round. Oh, you know what it's doing? It's delivering for solar. I did actually, speaking of, I meant to mention this before. I did actually expand solar. I hope it works for what you need. You know it's going to fail as soon as you turn your back on it. Like all 3D prints, you just can't look away from them. Cause the most trouble when you look away. Put the evil on me. I don't know. It's more like a reality. $15K and not $10K. $10K. Well, anyway, I'm gonna pause here for a little bit of a break. Because I need to stretch. And we shall continue on in just a moment and continue fighting with this thing. I might get the rest of it built into, but anyway,